Have you ever wondered why the wisest and most successful people always seem to have an air of mystery around them? It is no coincidence. There are secrets that, if you share them, lose their power. Today, I'm going to reveal 12 secrets that a smart person never reveals, and that can change the way you live your life. Stay until the end to discover how silence can be your best ally in a world where everyone wants to know everything. Ready to get a little wiser? Let's get started. In a world where social media invites us to share every detail of our lives, it can seem natural to talk openly about our ambitions and goals. However, there is a wisdom in keeping these personal goals private until they have been realized. When you share your goals with others, even with the best of intentions, you introduce external expectations into your process. These expectations can lead to unnecessary pressure, distraction, and in some cases, even envy or criticism from those who don't fully understand your goals or methods. By keeping your ambitions private, you protect your energy and focus, allowing you to work more effectively and seamlessly on what really matters. Moreover, the satisfaction of accomplishing something by yourself, without the influence of other people's opinions, is a reward in itself. Also, keeping your plans secret gives you flexibility to adjust course without feeling tied to what others expect of you. Personal goals are like seeds that need a protected environment to germinate and grow. Exposing them too early can disrupt that growth or even divert it into unwanted paths. In silence, you allow yourself to explore, experiment, and, if necessary, fail without the critical gaze of others. This space of privacy is essential to nurture your creativity and ensure that when you finally reveal your achievements, you do so from a position of strength and confidence. Keeping your ambitions private also prevents your ideas from being influenced or appropriated by others. People can, consciously or unconsciously, mold your ideas in their image, deviating from your original vision. By saving your goals, you ensure that your focus remains intact and that the end result is authentically yours. In addition, there is a special power in surprise. Accomplishing something without having previously announced it can cause a stronger, more positive impact on your environment, demonstrating not only your ability to achieve your goals, but also your discretion and wisdom in how you handle your personal affairs. Discretion is a virtue that is often underestimated, but it plays a crucial role in personal success. In the end, sharing your ambitions too far in advance can dilute the excitement of the achievement. Part of the excitement of accomplishing a goal lies in the feeling of having accomplished something meaningful without outside interference. This sense of pure fulfillment is much harder to achieve when everyone already knows what you're trying to do. Also, there is an element of vulnerability in revealing your aspirations. Not everyone will appreciate or support your dreams, and exposing yourself to public opinion ahead of time can lead to discouragement or loss of motivation. It's much more powerful to work quietly and let your results speak for you when the time is right. Keeping your ambitions private also prevents your ideas from being influenced or appropriated by others. People can, consciously or unconsciously, mold your ideas in their image, deviating from your original vision. By saving your goals, you ensure that your focus remains intact and that the end result is authentically yours. In addition, there is a special power in surprise. Accomplishing something without having previously announced it can cause a stronger, more positive impact on your environment, demonstrating not only your ability to achieve your goals, but also your discretion and wisdom in how you handle your personal affairs. Discretion is a virtue that is often underestimated, but it plays a crucial role in personal success. In the end, sharing your ambitions too far in advance can dilute the excitement of the achievement. Part of the excitement of accomplishing a goal lies in the feeling of having accomplished something meaningful without outside interference. This sense of pure fulfillment is much harder to achieve when everyone already knows what you're trying to do. Also, there is an element of vulnerability in revealing your aspirations. Not everyone will appreciate or support your dreams, and exposing yourself to public opinion ahead of time can lead to discouragement or loss of motivation. It's much more powerful to work quietly and let your results speak for you when the time is right. In the world of finance, discretion can be an invaluable ally. Sharing details about your investments and financial strategies may seem harmless, but it actually exposes you to outside influences and potential criticism. When others know about your economic movements, They may try to persuade you or divert you from your original goals. In addition, disclosing your financial decisions can lead to unnecessary expectations or pressures, affecting your judgment and leading you to make decisions that don't always align with your interests. Keeping quiet allows you to operate with autonomy and focus, protecting your long-term interests. Confidentiality in financial matters also protects you from possible envy or resentment. By bragging about your financial successes, you could unintentionally awaken negative feelings in those around you. These emotions can translate into strained relationships or even sabotage attempts. On the other hand, by keeping a low profile, you avoid attracting unwanted attention and preserve harmony in your personal and professional relationships. Modesty in your financial accomplishments is not only a sign of humility, but also a smart strategy for maintaining peace and tranquility. In addition, by keeping quiet about your investments, you protect your strategies from potential copycats. In the competitive financial world, disclosing your tactics can give others the opportunity to replicate them, reducing your advantages and potential profits. Originality and secrecy in your movements allow you to capitalize on unique opportunities and maintain an advantageous position in the market. Information is power, and sharing it indiscriminately can weaken your position and reduce your chances of success. Financial privacy also gives you the flexibility to change course without being under public scrutiny. If an investment doesn't turn out as you expected, you can adjust or abandon it without having to explain yourself to third parties. This freedom allows you to quickly adapt to market fluctuations and make decisions based on analysis and not external opinions. This way, you avoid the pressure to justify your actions and focus on what really matters: protecting and growing your wealth. Finally, keeping your financial decisions secret protects you from potential manipulation or malicious influence. By not disclosing your movements, you reduce the chance that others will try to take advantage of your information for their own gain or to harm you. In a world where competition is fierce, discretion is a protective barrier that safeguards your interests and allows you to trade with peace of mind and security. Silence in this context is synonymous with strength and wisdom. In the digital age, where personal relationships are often publicly displayed on social media, privacy in love life has become an act of resistance and wisdom. Sharing intimate details of your relationship may seem like a way to celebrate love, but in the long run, this exposure can erode the emotional stability that is crucial to a healthy relationship. When you bring your matters of the heart into the public domain, you open the door to outside opinions, judgments, and expectations that can lead to unnecessary tensions between you and your partner. These outside opinions can sow doubts, insecurities, and misunderstandings that would not have arisen otherwise. Privacy in relationships allows bonds to be strengthened in a safe space, free from the pressures and comparisons that inevitably arise when personal aspects are exposed. Each relationship is unique, with its own rhythms, challenges, and joys, and preserving that intimacy allows individuals within the relationship to feel more connected and protected. Keeping certain aspects of your love life private also fosters an environment in which the couple can grow together, supporting each other without the interference of social expectations. This reserve allows the relationship to develop naturally, without the weight of having to comply with external ideals. In addition, privacy protects the relationship from possible envy and resentment of those who do not share the same happiness or emotional stability. By keeping the details of your love life private, you avoid fueling comparisons to other relationships, which can often be harmful. Envy and resentment can manifest in subtle ways, such as negative comments or passive-aggressive attitudes that, over time, can affect you and your partner's perspective on the relationship. Protecting privacy, then, becomes a shield that preserves peace and joy in the couple, allowing them to fully enjoy their bond without external distractions. Privacy is also crucial when facing challenges in the relationship. All love relationships experience difficulties at some point, and how these moments are handled is critical to long-term stability. Discussing these issues in public or sharing them with people outside the relationship can further complicate things, introducing new tensions or misunderstandings that weren't initially present. Instead, handling these issues privately allows for more effective resolution based on mutual understanding and respect. In addition, private conflict management reinforces trust and intimacy between partners as they feel more secure to open up and be vulnerable to each other without fear of exposure. Privacy in love life contributes to the autonomy and authenticity of the relationship. When a couple is not constantly exposed to the gazes and opinions of others, they have the freedom to define their own path and their own rules, rather than being forced to conform to societal expectations. This independence strengthens the connection between individuals and allows them to experience a more genuine and fulfilling love, built on the basis of their own experience and not on what others consider appropriate or ideal. The relationship becomes a space of growth and mutual support, where both members feel valued and respected for who they are, rather than how they are perceived externally. In short, privacy in love life not only protects the relationship from outside influences, but also fosters an environment of trust, respect, and personal growth. The emotional stability that comes from keeping matters of the heart private is a key component to a long-lasting and healthy relationship. Discretion, in this context, is not a sign of weakness or distrust, but a way to preserve the most valuable thing in a relationship: the intimate and authentic connection between two people who choose to walk through life together, away from the noise and interference of the outside world. Personal beliefs and philosophy of life are deeply rooted elements that shape our identity and guide our actions. However, in a world where public opinion and social media are so influential, openly sharing these convictions can expose us to criticism, misunderstanding, and questioning that we are not always prepared to face. Each individual develops their beliefs from their unique experiences, reflections, and learnings. Therefore, when you decide to keep your personal convictions private, you are protecting that essential part of your being from external influence and judgment, allowing you to explore and live according to your values without feeling the pressure to adjust them to please others. By sharing your beliefs, you run the risk of others misinterpreting or criticizing them without fully understanding their context. Personal beliefs and philosophies are often complex and nuanced, and they cannot always be explained in a way that others will immediately understand or accept. By keeping these convictions to yourself, you avoid the conflict that arises when others try to impose their own values or perspectives on yours. This discretion allows you to continue to deepen your ideas and beliefs without the need to constantly defend them to those who might not have the same openness or empathy to understand them. This way, you maintain the integrity of your philosophy of life and give yourself space to evolve authentically and personally. Another advantage of privacy in your beliefs is that it allows you to maintain peace and harmony in your relationships. Discussions about philosophical topics or personal beliefs can often lead to disagreements, especially when opinions are widely divergent. By not sharing your convictions publicly or with people who don't share your worldview, you can avoid unnecessary confrontations that could damage important relationships. This choice does not mean that you should hide who you are, but that you choose wisely with whom you share these deep aspects of yourself. Carefully selecting the people with whom you discuss your beliefs allows you to surround yourself with those who respect your perspective, even if they don't share it, creating an environment of mutual respect. In addition, by keeping your convictions private, you free yourself from the need to justify your beliefs to others. Personal beliefs, by their nature, are subjective and do not always need to be validated by others to have value. When you refrain from sharing them publicly, you focus on living by them, rather than spending energy explaining or defending your position. This inner focus strengthens you, as your security and sense of purpose come from your connection to your own beliefs, not from external approval or acceptance. In this way, you become a more focused and resilient person, able to navigate life with an internal compass that is not diverted by changing opinions of the environment. Privacy also protects you from the negative impact that criticism can have on your self-esteem and emotional well-being. While constructive criticism can be valuable, not all criticism is well-intentioned or helpful. People often project their own insecurities and prejudices when they criticize the beliefs of others. By keeping your convictions private, you shield yourself against these negative influences, preserving your mental and emotional peace. This act of protecting your beliefs is not a sign of weakness, but a form of self-preservation that allows you to maintain a state of balance and serenity, crucial for personal and spiritual development. Productivity routines are a set of habits and strategies that each individual develops over time, specifically adjusted to their needs, goals, and circumstances. These methods are the product of personal experimentation and introspection, designed to optimize time and maximize results. However, sharing these methods indiscriminately can lead to a dilution of their effectiveness. By laying out your productivity strategies, you run the risk of others adopting them without fully understanding the context in which they work for you, which can lead to criticism if they don't produce the same results for them. This, in turn, can cause you to doubt the effectiveness of your own methods or feel pressured to modify them to fit other people's expectations. Plus, when you share your productivity routines, you can lose the competitive edge they give you. In highly competitive environments, such as the professional or academic world, your ability to be efficient and produce quality results often sets you apart from others. If you reveal your productivity secrets, others might imitate them, which can not only reduce your advantage, but also saturate the field with similar methods, lessening their impact. Keeping your strategies private allows you to continue to stand out and move forward without the pressure of others constantly replicating what you do. Not only does this reserve protect your achievements, but it also allows you to continue refining and adapting your methods without feeling tied to external expectations or judgments. Another important aspect is that the effectiveness of a productivity routine is closely linked to the individuality of the person who uses it. Your habits, preferences, and pace of work are unique, and what works perfectly for you may not be right for someone else. By sharing your methods, you may find that others adapt them and, when they do not get the same results, they may criticize the routine or even attribute failures to it that did not originally exist. This negative feedback can lead you to question your own processes, generating unnecessary insecurity in practices that, in their essence, were highly effective for you. The key is to understand that productivity is a personal journey, and that what is efficient for one will not necessarily be efficient for another. Sharing your routines can also lead to increased exposure to scrutiny and criticism, which can affect your confidence and divert your focus. When others know your methods, they may begin to observe you more closely, hoping that you will always maintain the same level of productivity or that you will never fail. This pressure can backfire, leading to stress and an obsession with maintaining perfection, which ironically can lead to a decrease in productivity. In addition, the constant need to explain or defend your methods can become a distraction, taking you away from what really matters, the work itself. Instead of spending time and energy on justifications, it's more beneficial to focus on perfecting your methods privately and on your own time. Past failures and mistakes are deeply personal experiences that, while painful, offer valuable life lessons. Learning from them in silence allows for a more intimate and honest process of reflection, free from the gaze and judgment of others. In this private space, one can confront emotions, analyze decisions that led to failure, and draw lessons without the pressure of having to explain or justify what happened to others. This introspective approach allows for greater clarity and understanding, because by not being subject to public scrutiny, the individual can be completely honest with themselves about what went wrong and how they can prevent it from happening again in the future. When a failure is publicly exposed, there is a risk that external reactions will influence one's personal interpretation of the experience. Society often has a simplified and sometimes harsh view of failures, which can lead to negatively labeling those who have made mistakes. This type of unnecessary exposure can detract from the learning process, as the person may feel compelled to defend their actions or face criticism that is not always constructive. In addition, public exposure can cause failure to become a stigma that hinders self-improvement, generating feelings of shame or guilt that can hinder growth and evolution. By learning from failures in silence, greater control over the personal narrative is maintained. This control is essential because it allows the experience to be redefined through a more compassionate and objective lens, without the distortion that external opinions can cause. Instead of focusing on what others think or say, the individual can focus on what really matters, learning and applying those lessons to improve in the future. This process of private self-assessment strengthens resilience, as one becomes more aware of one's abilities to overcome difficulties without relying on validation or forgiveness from others. Silence also grants the freedom to experiment and fail again, without the constant fear of public criticism. When failures are handled privately, the pressure to succeed decreases, allowing for a more relaxed and creative approach to future attempts. The ability to fail in private is an invaluable resource, as it removes the paralyzing fear that often accompanies the possibility of making mistakes in front of an audience. This safe and private environment fosters a continuous learning cycle, where every mistake is seen as an opportunity to adjust strategy and improve, rather than a reason to feel embarrassed or defeated. Family life is a deeply personal and in many ways sacred space, where the most intimate and meaningful relationships of our existence take place. It is within this realm that we find the emotional support, unconditional love, and sense of belonging that often sustain us through difficult times. However, by exposing intimate details of family dynamics, there is a risk of eroding the trust and stability that are fundamental to the well-being of family members. Publicly sharing the private aspects of family life can lead to the intrusion of other people's opinions that, although well-intentioned, can upset the delicate balance that each family establishes in its internal functioning. These external opinions can sow doubts, fuel conflicts, and create expectations that do not necessarily reflect the reality of the family, affecting the harmony and unity of the group. In addition, protecting the intimate details of family life is a way of preserving the privacy and dignity of its members. Every person within a family has the right to keep certain aspects of their personal life away from public scrutiny. When these details are exposed, mutual trust is violated, and a feeling of betrayal or lack of respect for the individuality of each member can be generated. Family life should be a safe haven where people can be authentic and vulnerable without fear of being judged or exposed. By keeping internal dynamics private, you ensure that this space remains a place where trust and intimacy can flourish without restriction. Protecting family privacy is also crucial to avoid misunderstandings and hasty judgments by those outside the family. Family dynamics are unique and shaped by years of interaction, shared experiences, and mutual understanding. Those outside of this sphere can misinterpret situations or relationships when they are publicly exposed, generating opinions or comments that can be hurtful or divisive. By keeping these matters private, confusion is avoided, and the integrity of family relationships is preserved, allowing conflicts to be resolved internally and celebrations to be enjoyed without the pressure of external observation. Privacy in family life is also essential to protect the most vulnerable members, such as children or the elderly, who may not be prepared to handle public attention or scrutiny. Children, in particular, need a safe and secure environment to grow and develop, without the added burden of having to face curiosity or expectations from outside the family. Similarly, the elderly deserve to lead a dignified and respectful life without their personal challenges or moments of vulnerability becoming a topic of public conversation. By keeping intimate aspects of family life private, these individuals are protected from unnecessary exposure that could affect their emotional and psychological well-being. Personal connections and networks represent one of the most valuable assets in professional and personal life. These contacts are not mere names on an agenda, but relationships built over time, based on trust, mutual respect, and in many cases, a shared history of collaboration and support. Keeping these valuable contacts secret is a key strategy for preserving their value and protecting the relationships you've carefully cultivated. By avoiding indiscriminate disclosure of your connections, you ensure that these relationships remain exclusive and meaningful, allowing you to access unique opportunities that would not be available if your contacts were overexposed to third parties. Sharing details about your personal connections and networks widely can lead to a depletion of the value of those relationships. When others begin to use the same contacts without the same level of consideration or reciprocity, contacts can feel exploited or overburdened, which can deteriorate the quality of the relationship. Your contacts, perceiving that their information has been distributed without their consent or in excess, could begin to withdraw or reduce the availability they previously offered. Not only does this overexposure diminish the usefulness of the network, but it can also damage the reputation of the sharer, as the contact may feel belittled or seen only as a resource rather than a valuable person. In addition, preserving the secrecy of your valuable contacts gives you a level of control over how and when these relationships are used. When you maintain the exclusivity of your connections, you can better manage expectations and ensure that any introduction or collaboration is mutually beneficial. This approach also allows you to carefully evaluate opportunities before deciding if it's appropriate to involve someone in your network. By acting as a filter or gatekeeper, you can avoid situations where your contacts could be misinterpreted, manipulated, or overloaded with requests that are not suitable or that do not correspond to their interests or capabilities. Maintaining confidentiality about your connections is also a sign of respect for the contacts themselves. People value privacy and discretion, and by keeping your personal network secret, you show that you value their trust and don't take the relationship you've built lightly. This attitude of mutual respect strengthens the relationship, making your contacts more willing to support you when you really need it. In addition, by protecting their identity and availability, you allow these people to maintain their independence and control over how they want to manage their own networks, preventing them from feeling pressured by external requests that they have not requested. The successful methodologies that each individual develops are the result of a long and personal process of learning, experimentation, and adaptation. These personal formulas for success are often deeply linked to the uniqueness of the person, combining skills, experiences, and knowledge acquired over time. Preserving these methodologies without sharing them widely is an essential strategy to maintain their effectiveness and ensure that they remain a source of competitive advantage in professional and personal life. When these formulas are shared indiscriminately, there is a risk of diluting their impact, as others may try to replicate them without having the same context or understanding that makes them work, which could reduce their value and uniqueness. Sharing your successful methodologies too often can also lead to saturation and overexposure, where what was once a unique advantage becomes common knowledge, losing its differentiating effect. Additionally, when others adopt your formulas, they could modify or misinterpret fundamental principles, which can lead to inconsistent results that, when associated with you, could negatively affect your reputation if they don't meet expectations. By keeping your methods private, you ensure that control over their application and adaptation remains uniquely yours, allowing you to maintain a high and consistent standard in your performance. Another reason to preserve your methodologies in private is that excessive openness can invite competitors to copy or mimic your practices, eroding the advantage you've worked hard to establish. In an environment where competition is fierce, sharing your secrets of success can equip others with the tools needed to compete directly with you, reducing your opportunities and weakening your position in the market or in your sphere of influence. By keeping your methods secretive, you protect your ability to continue to excel and take advantage of opportunities that arise based on your unique approach and the unique combination of skills and knowledge you possess. Health problems and personal difficulties are deeply sensitive aspects of life that, when handled privately, can be addressed with greater dignity, control, and care. The decision to keep these challenges private allows people to face their struggles without the added burden of external judgment, unsolicited compassion, or expectations that often accompany public disclosure. Each individual has their own ability to cope with pain, illness, or personal adversity, and the healing or adjustment process is best handled in a safe and controlled environment, away from the gaze and opinion of others. This approach not only protects the emotional integrity of the affected person, but also allows them to seek and receive support from those who truly understand the situation and are in a position to offer genuine help. When health problems or personal difficulties are shared publicly, there is a risk that these challenges will be reduced to simple anecdotes or topics of conversation, stripping the experience of its complexity and depth. People, knowing the details, may make judgments or give unsolicited advice that, while well-intentioned, is not always helpful or appropriate. Those comments can put additional pressure on the affected person, who may feel compelled to follow certain paths or justify their decisions to those who do not fully understand their situation. By handling these issues privately, the person maintains autonomy over their process, choosing how, when, and with whom to share the details of their experience, and ensuring that any external intervention is truly constructive and aligned with their needs and desires. In addition, privacy in the management of health problems or personal difficulties is crucial to preserving the person's self-esteem and identity. When personal struggles are exposed to the public, there is a risk of being defined by those difficulties, allowing others to see the person only through the prism of their problem, rather than as a complete human being with a rich and multifaceted identity. This reduction can be extremely detrimental to self-esteem, as the person may begin to internalize these limited perceptions, negatively affecting their sense of self and ability to overcome the challenge. Keeping these aspects private protects the integrity of personal identity, allowing the person to continue to define themselves more broadly without being trapped in a narrative imposed by external perception. Privacy also facilitates a safer environment for recovery or adaptation. The pressure of having to constantly inform others about progress, or lack thereof, can be exhausting and counterproductive. Recovery, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, is a process that takes time and is often full of ups and downs. By keeping the process private, the person is relieved of the pressure to maintain an optimistic narrative or to respond to the expectations of others. This allows for a more authentic and honest approach to healing, where the person can allow themselves to feel and experience everything they need, without the fear of disappointing others or being the subject of speculation. In addition, when handled privately, health problems or personal difficulties allow for greater flexibility in decision-making. Without the influence of outside opinions, the person can explore various treatment options or solutions at their own pace, without feeling the need to justify their choices to others. This freedom is crucial to finding a path that is truly suited to individual circumstances and that reflects personal values and desires. The decision-making process in a private context also reduces anxiety and stress, allowing the person to focus on what really matters, their well-being and recovery, without unnecessary distractions or pressures. Managing challenges privately is also an act of self-preservation and empowerment. By carefully choosing what to share and with whom, the person maintains control over their personal narrative, ensuring that the most intimate and vulnerable aspects of their life are not exposed in ways that can be misinterpreted or exploited. This approach protects not only emotional and mental health, but also personal relationships, which can become strained or complicated when problems become public. In summary, privacy in the management of health issues and personal difficulties not only facilitates a more effective and focused recovery process, but also preserves the dignity, autonomy, and integrity of the person, allowing them to face their challenges with the strength and resilience necessary to overcome them. If you like this video and want to continue learning more about how to live intelligently and effectively, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like it, and activate the bell so you don't miss our next content. See you in the following video.